Gets ready to match up with the Denver Broncos. The final playoff push is upon us. It's week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone, and he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. Pretty good results here on the first down run as he takes this forward for about 6.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Now we'll play fake, and it's Watson. Man open, that's complete to Dalton Schultz. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. Buying time to his left. Throw left side complete. That's Schultz. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now Watson. This will be caught. Judy. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great.
And he's got his tight end fan. Touchdown, Broncos. Noah Fant, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Broncos take it all the way down the field and score on the opening drive. McManus's point after is good. And that makes the score 7-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. They'll run on first down. It's Tucker, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. This defense for the Broncos, they played extremely well last week in the win over Atlanta.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, what do you do now when you go into a game? Do you decide you can't throw the ball? Do you try and run it more? Or do you tell your quarterback, make sure you see your guys open before you deliver?
Here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so our offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up.
On first down, Bryant will set up a screen for Dillon. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. So, Charles, first drive here, little safe completion underneath. Maybe get some rhythm, get your feet wet, so to speak.
I agree, and I like it because it's a lot like a basketball game when you're getting started and you pass the ball around so everyone touches it early and gets involved in the game. In this case, it's not just dumping.
Trying to find Cup, but it's intercepted. Picked off at the 38, and the return out shy of midfield to the 46-yard line. That time defensively looked like they showed quite a bit of pressure, but backed off, and it proved fruitful. They get the pick.
He went through all of his rules about getting rid of the ball quickly because he read blitz. He saw all those people stacked at the line of scrimmage, and then they fooled him by dropping into coverage. Now he's ready to get rid of the ball fast, but guess what? Too many defenders out there. Exactly as you described, an interception.
It's a big play there for the Broncos.
But they didn't ease into that drive right out of the turnover. They go for the big shot downfield and hit it. A lot of teams have that opportunity, but not every coach is going to green light that type of a play call. I love their aggressiveness.
So a big play as it gets them all the way down to the 20 now for 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Watson. And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Sean Murphy-Bunting. And the Bucs are going to take over at their own 11-yard line. Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points. No matter what, at worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost them.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They had the interception last time. It led to the opening touchdown. So now 7-0 the score as they start 1st and 10. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Sometimes I forget how much information he has to go through before the ball's even snapped. But what a diagnosis right there. Saw the play, shot through the gap like a rocket, and ends up spilling it for a loss.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Bryant. And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
To throw on 3rd down, Bryant. Now swing pass for Dillon. And able to get it across the 20 before they get to it.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon. And it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a 1st down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
On 1st and 10, Bryant. Catch is made by Metcalf. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A big play that time through the air. 30 yards.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
On 1st down, Tucker. And they'll get him down here at about the 42. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense up.
He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. They get to him for a loss of 4, and it brings up third down on a sack. And with the play clock winding down, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Now they'll need the 39 here for a first. This is third down. Back to throw. Bryant. Under pressure, they got him again. They couldn't contain Deshaun Hand that time as he gets home for the sack.
He was still looking through his progressions and going through his receiver options, and while he was doing that, the defense got to him quickly in the pocket.
And it was a great example of zone coverage, well executed, well coordinated. All the receivers were covered, and he couldn't evade the rush back in the pocket.
So on now is the Clemson man, Bradley Pinion, to punt this one away. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we've got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you've got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Watson got his man complete over the middle. It's Sutton. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes and they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air, and sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. Flushed out right. That is taken in by the tight end Fant. And he's got this almost to the 40 before going out.
Now that's all about making something happen as a quarterback, because instead of forcing something on 3rd down, how about him buying some time outside of the pocket, waiting for someone to come open, and when he did, he put it on him for a big play and a first down.
And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
And very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49. Watson on third down.
Got an open man here, and it's K.J. Hamler. And he will have a Broncos first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver trying to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
You have to ask the question, where was the help? Because it's a little surprising to me that he'd find that much room to run this close to the end zone. He doesn't quite get there, but he sets his touchdown.
That's caught. Jerry Jeudy, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Broncos will extend their lead. McManus now for the extra point. And oh, he clanks it off the right upright. And it's no good. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss.
He will return this from deep in the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled it to 20. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. And the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn it over. So that's good, right?
You're going to get some angry users reaching out to you on social media.
Well, I don't mean to be. I was actually looking for the positive. Silver lining, you know.
Up at the 29 now, they'll head to the line. 2nd and a yard. Looking to throw. Bryant. Over the middle. That's caught by Metcalf. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Catch number 100 for his career right there, and it's good enough to keep the chains moving. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Back to throw. Bryant. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off right around the 43. And now off to the races down the right side. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Bronco defense has a touchdown.
Coaches preach all the time about opportunities and taking advantage of them, and he did exactly that. I used to have a coach told us all the time, a lost opportunity is never regained. Well, no regrets here. He picked that one off and took it to the house.
Extra point from McManus is good. And that pushes the lead up to an even 20. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out.
And a penalty marker's down on the field. And they might be backing up a bit here to start the drive. Well, that holding call set him up with not great field position.
Not at all when you tack on the penalty. With that field position after the return wasn't terrific. It's not a great starting field position as well.
Throwing on 1st down. Bryant. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action.
We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll send you cross-state to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have all the stats and all the scores from games going on during another busy Sunday in the National Football League. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. This throw incomplete, nearly picked off. And with his pedigree, he doesn't drop many of those. But third down coming up. An incomplete pass on second down leads us to 3rd and inches. Looking to throw. Bryant. And that will be incomplete. More problems here on 3rd down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on 3rd down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
So in their own territory, but they only need a few inches, so they're going to opt to go for this thing. We'll see. Maybe a surprise pass or run. What will they do? We're about to find out. 4th down. They'll try and throw for it here. And they hit him as he throws, as this one's going to go straight down to the turf. Incomplete. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone. On 1st and 10, Watson. Right side, it's Hamler pulling it in. 7 yards, the pickup there. 2nd down and 3. Watson now to throw. And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Back to throw, Watson. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked up by Jordan Whitehead. And the Buccaneers are going to take over at their own 11-yard line. You don't see this often. A quarterback of his caliber, 2 first-half interceptions.
It's absolutely surprising because it happens so rarely. You're searching for what reason, what's going on out there. It's not just maybe the defense is playing well. Is his horoscope off? His biorhythms? What is it?
You went horoscope on us, David.
Well, I was thinking maybe REM sleep was off. I'm trying to come up with something.
Anything, right? A nice little screen. They get 6 on 1st down. Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. To throw on 2nd down, Bryant. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked up by Justin Simmons. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. This is Hamler on the receiving end. And he's going to have a 1st down here. They're also in the field goal range now at the 27-yard line. Here's Watson. And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. Again, it's Watson.
This is caught. Touchdown, Broncos. Deshaun Watson with his third touchdown pass of this first half. And the Broncos will extend their lead here just before halftime.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
McManus's point after is good, and the route is on here in this first half.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession as they take over with just 17 seconds left before the break. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Going deep this time for Miller. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 21. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. Final 10 seconds of the half as they've got it 1st and 10.
Here we go. Here we go.
They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. Give the tackle that time to Jordan Whitehead. So we come upon halftime with the visiting Broncos taking the lead to the locker room. As we toss it an hour or so east of here to Orlando, it's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. So after a very one-sided first half, what will the second half bring as we are back underway on EA Sports? And the half will begin with a touchback. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. And they have a mountainous deficit looming in front of them. It was really, Charles, a disaster of a first half. So where do they go from here?
Well, first thing they have to remember is that what's done is done, and there's no going back. And now you have to play this drive by drive. Obviously, come back in this spot, pretty unlikely. But you still have to go out, take pride in your work, and try and put something together here in the second half.
Working with 2nd and 5 now. They run once more with Dillon. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. And, Charles, you look at this defense. They were a very loose group coming into the week, knowing they kind of had the upper hand going into this one, taking on a team that hasn't won in a month and a half.
And that works well for you if you establish your dominance early in the game against a team that's struggling. But if somehow they fashion some plays together early, knock them back on their heels, that looseness can be used against them. Then they're trying to scramble to make sure they get their game right.
That right there, a good sign for a team that's had trouble converting third down so far this year. They're in the bottom 5 in the NFL, but they come through there.
Yeah, and I bet if we put our guy Marvin on the case and say, Marvin, tell us where they rank on 3rd and what, right? I bet they're in the top 5 in the league on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 or more, because that's how you end up not converting. Just too much yardage to pick up on 3rd down.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw.
And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
Another attempt, another incompletion, and when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn it into a long gain or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points, and the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball.
They had the incomplete pass on second down. Now they need a big play here. 3rd and 10. Back to throw. Bryan. And he's got his big tight end over the middle, complete. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A big connection on that one, 33 yards.
And that might be exactly what they needed to wake up this home crowd. They haven't given them much to cheer for so far, and never underestimate the effect the home crowd with you can have on a game.
On 1st down, Bryan. And now here is another interception. Picked up by Michael O.J. Mudia. And he will take this across midfield and down to the 48-yard line. So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the 3rd quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in, coming out to start this 3rd quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
They'll run on 1st down. Stuckey. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second-half blowout material. Watson's throw into the hands of Fant. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. Steps away to his left. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Jamel Dean. And the Bucs force the turnover. They'll take over at the 10. That is now 7 interceptions between last week and this week. 3 in this game, 4 a week ago.
And I saw the head coach write on his play sheet, make a little note. I hope he's writing self-scout. Bring in the guys that scout games for you with a different eye and watch him and see what's going on, and maybe they can pick up what the flaws are, and hopefully they can correct them.
Credit to tackle that time to Deshaun Hand.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Bryan. And he's going to hook up with his big tight end. Complete. And brought down, but not before reaching the 25.
Well, maybe this offense has learned something from watching their counterparts work. I'm wondering if their coaching staff said, let's do what they've been doing the entire game, because that's worked well. This offense, they have not looked particularly good all game long, but a nice throw there for a good gain and a 1st down.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
At the 24-yard line.
Looking to throw. Bryan. Left side here, taken in by Metcalf. So the pitch and catch good for 11. And that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard.
Barney sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go, and let's see who's faster.
And he will have a 1st down here at about the 40. Maybe a frustration penalty there because he's picked them apart.
They've tried their best to get to him and haven't done it successfully. A penalty is a result of that hit there.
A bad time for a roughing penalty, and they get the gift of a 1st and 10. Back to throw. Bryan. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off at the 33. The 30. 10. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Bronco defense has a touchdown. This D wanting to put it away before we even get to the fourth quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
Extra point from McManus is good, and the lead will swell by one more. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And following the pick six, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick six. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told him, and they told us, they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. And he'll be brought down right around the 37.
First and 10 at the 37-yard line.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Ain't no such thing as a loss. We take a win. 18 rattler.
Looking to throw. Bryant. He'll get this complete to Cooper Kupp. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
If he's their best threat on offense, use your number one cover guy on defense. It doesn't matter about size.
They have had him locked up. That just his first catch of the game. Big reason why they're down.
And let's pin the mirrors back and go full strip. 53, 56. I smell fear in that offense. Trap 60. Fear in that offense.
To throw on second down. Bryant. Open man right side is Kupp, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 51 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Watch tight. Tight ends. We got 4.
Throwing again. Bryant. And now here is another interception. Picked up by Gary and Conley. And he'll get it all the way down inside the 35-yard line. The utter domination here just continues. This defense, I don't know what more we can say all around about their performance.
Well, it certainly feels in this game like maybe they're facing a Canadian defense. 12 guys on the field. It feels like there's an extra on every snap because they have really struggled to make headway through the air.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10.
36. I got it.
Watson off play action. And he'll hit his tight end, Walker. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
Let's go, Heavy. Heavy, what you got? What you got, Heavy?
They'll try the left side. Stuckey, and he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. He needed 2, he got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down and a yard.
I'm scared. Hey, check Mike 45. Trying to go. Let's go, tight end. Let's go right here now. Kill. 36. Alert.
They will indeed snap it to Watson. And the pass is caught. Touchdown, Denver. Jerry Jeudy. Deshaun Watson, 4 touchdown passes now in the ball game. And the Broncos are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this 4th quarter lead. McManus's point after is good, and that will extend this big lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will be returned from deep in the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. A give for Dillon running right. And he stopped immediately there. Bradley Chubb there on the tackle. This run defense has been pretty stout all game long. Now you're here in the 4th quarter. Just rely more on the passing attack.
I don't think you have any choice, and I don't think you have to dress it up at all either. Throughout the first 3 quarters, you're still trying to convince the defense that you may run the football. That's out the window right now. Protect, let your quarterback operate, and try and find some targets in the open field downfield.
On 2nd down, another run for Dillon. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
A 3rd down now, and those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. Back to throw. Bryant. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Michael Ojemudia. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Bronco defense has a touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. He will return this from deep in the end zone. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
And now here is another interception. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Bronco defense has a touchdown. Defensively, they've had their way in this one. That pick 6 makes that scoreboard even more lopsided.
I remember talking with a guy in the league, and I said, what do you do when the game's like this? You know, it's pretty much over. You ready to go to the bench and hang out? He said, oh, heck no. I want to stay on the field. I might get some stats. I might get a pick or 2.
You like being out there at the end of these wide margins.
When they have to throw it, that gives you more opportunities to go get it.
Extra point from McManus is good, and the lead will swell by 1 more. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And you can sort of sense their dejection. That last pick six put the icing on the cake, so to speak, in what has been a rough go for them. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And, gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big,
he's going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line. So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. They've got a second down now as they look to salt this one away. On second down now, Stuckey. He takes it to the 15. A nice display of power. That gives him a nice pickup. He digs them partway out of the hole that they're in. It's an 8-yard gain, and it makes it 3rd and 12. They'll keep it on the ground. Stuckey. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. And now what the heck is this? A punt formation from the red zone? And here's a very low-line drive, almost whiffed on it. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right,
And now here is another interception. Picked off by Pat Surtain. And the Broncos are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line. Well, partner, I got to tell you, I'm trying to think of something positive to say for this offense, but I'd have to be a spin doctor for that one. This has been a tough performance to watch.
And I think it's hard at this point to actually identify what's really gone wrong. I guess the catch-all is everything. Doesn't sound like real sharp analysis, but I don't have much else for you.
And the scoreboard just lopsided, and it's been ugly from the get-go. 40 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
And that's the type of run that you'll live with. In this game, he's had a good number of carries. He's just been unable to really break off anything substantial.
So this one will wind up a Denver victory. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one, and that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, up a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory.
So for Denver, the playoffs may be out of reach, but the win gets them to 4-8 on the year. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Meanwhile, for the Bucs, the problems just get worse and worse as they fall to 2-9 now on the year. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Seattle Seahawks.